Okay, good morning. We are live. Welcome to the pre-market overview, Monday, July 20th, 2020. Hope you guys had a good weekend, ready for the trading week ahead. So for those that might not know, my name is Becky. You can email me, becky@tradewithufos, if you have questions about anything I cover today. You'll hear us say this a lot within the Tradictive channel. The support team being a team obviously means they're going to be quicker at responding. So most of the time we would say direct your inquiries to support@tradewithufos, but of course you are welcome to email me too if you need. So I'm just going to explain quickly for those that might not have joined us before what the pre-market overview is. In a sense, we go through our newsletter and we spend 15-20 minutes just explaining the concepts on the newsletter. So if you want to get access to the newsletter yourself, where you'll get sent this every day, obviously the updated version, you can email us newsletter@tradewithufos, and you'll get that document every day, which is obviously going to be similar to the one that I go through now. So a couple of things to just go through before we officially start. So to say, obviously today is a Monday. So you can join us on futures, or in futures, sorry, at 9 a.m. Eastern, and then options at 1 p.m. Eastern. We have stocks and investing on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. respectively, and sharpening over the weekend. The sharpening sessions, I think, are maybe some of the best sessions, because we're not doing it obviously during the trading week. We don't have to be putting trades on and be quick on the way we explain concepts in order to get a trade on quick enough. We can be sort of much more theoretical about things, go into things in much more depth. So if you have questions on methodology and stuff, those sessions are always the best ones to come to. Obviously the Sunday one, or the Saturday one, check on the schedule, is a psychology session as well, which is something that is very often overlooked, which I would recommend. So those sharpening sessions over the weekend are pretty special, I think. So upcoming live courses, actually this one's already happened, sorry, I should have taken that off. That was with me over the weekend. The next one we have is futures, and that's July 25th to 31st. After that, we have stocks, psychology, and trading plans. So take a look at those in terms of the dates and stuff. And whilst you do that, I will read the disclaimers and then we'll go through the newsletter. Okay, so the following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating the method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive on using our products. The following presentation is for educational purposes only. All the symbols and trading ideas discussed are for demonstrating and are not recommendations. Active options and futures trading carries a high degree of risk and may not be suitable for all traders. Past historical trading performance of real or simulated trading does not guarantee success and may not be indicative of future results. You Can Trade is an online media publication service which provides educational investment content and ideas along with live trading demonstrations and does not provide investment or trading advice, research or recommendations of any kind. Please visit www.youcantrade.com for additional disclosure information. Definitely getting quicker with that. All right, so now we've finished that, let's go on and have a look at our newsletter. So this is what it looks like. So when you subscribe to newsletter@tradewithufos, you'll get this every day. Obviously, it's updated every day because things change every day. So the point of the newsletter is that we're going through 4 of the major markets in the world. So we look at the S&P, obviously one of the major equity, so just close that up. One of the major equity indices or indexes in the world, S&P. And then we have oil and gold, obviously both commodities. And then we have the euro, which is obviously a currency. Now with the euro, we are looking at the spot forex, euro versus the US dollar, which is the highest traded currency pair in the world. And forex or spot forex is the highest traded market in the world. So fair to say we've covered a lot of what goes on, especially since the US dollar itself, just by itself, is responsible for about 80% of transactions that happen in the markets worldwide. So we've covered a lot of what goes on out there in the markets. We use a daily time frame for the things that we're going to go through, the concepts we're going to go through today. Again, you might not trade the daily time frame. Different things happen on different time frames, but the daily is obviously quite a common one that a lot of people use. So what you'll notice is we're going to go through climate. For those that don't know, what we mean by climate is effectively trend. In what direction is the market moving? Are we in a general upwards move or are we in a general downwards move? Also propagating. This is something that's very important because we all know trends don't last forever. Trend is your friend until the bend at the end. So what the propagating figures tell us is how likely we are to be coming up towards the end of that trend. So basically, in a sense, what it's telling us is this is how long a market averagely goes in this movement for. This is how long it keeps going up for. This is how long it keeps going down for, usually. And this is where we're at relative to that. So we use the ᴾᴿᴱMARKET app to give us this information. You'll see it on the bottom of the chart. I'll show you in a minute. And that's what gives us this information. We're also going to look at our nearest UFOs. So UFO stands for unfilled orders. What we mean by unfilled orders is where we expect there to be buy orders that push price up or sell orders that push price down. Our Auto UFO app highlights this on the chart to us and shows us where those orders might be that could turn price. What we're also going to do, we're going to look at volatility for each of these markets. I'll go through it one by one, market by market. So we'll do the figures up here and then come down to volatility per market. Volatility just means how fast we expect the markets to move. We'll then come down and understand impact news, and we'll have a look at that when we get to it before we round off. So lots to cover. So let's crack on. Let's have a look at the S&P first. You'll notice that the symbol we're using is SPX.X. So let's go find that. Yeah. Okay, so this is the chart here. I've spaced it out a little bit so we can see it a bit better. We've got our ᴾᴿᴱMARKET app on the bottom here. Now, the ᴾᴿᴱMARKET app, it will show us the same for every market today. Obviously, not always the case. It's showing us a thick blue dot on the bottom there. Now, if it's a blue dot, it's telling us that we're in an upwards climate. If it's a red dot, it's telling us we're in a downwards climate. So pretty simple there. If it's a thick dot, it's telling us we have probabilities on our side. If it's a thin dot, it's telling us we have less probabilities on our side. So we've got four different situations we can have there. Thick blue dot, thick red dot, thin blue dot, thin red dot. In this case, sorry, excuse me, because we have a thick blue dot, it's telling us that we have a confirmed upwards climate. We have a move to the upside and an uptrend, and we have probabilities on our side. So in terms of UFOs, orders that we could expect to turn price, closest stack of buy orders as being highlighted to us by the UFO app is at 2955.45 to 2933.59. That's the green UFO there. Closest sell UFO, where there are sell orders that could turn price down, is at 3373.23 to 3393.52. Okay, so we saw we had a confirmed upwards climate. What we want to understand is how long can we expect to keep going in that direction. So just to let you know, all of these numbers on the right-hand side, I'm always going to round them up to the next whole number. So whatever the decimal place is, I'm going to round it up to the next one. So what this tells us is that normally the S&P would go up on a daily chart for 11 candles, so 11 days. And we're on candle number 12. So we've just gone past what is average, what is normal, what is statistically likely to happen in this market. So bear in mind, as climates go beyond what they usually do, we're kind of stretching that elastic band a little bit. The further we go into or over what a climate is normally doing, the less likely it is to keep doing that. The more we put an elastic band, the more likely it is to ping back. So we lose probabilities here if we're going past what is normal, what is average. However, we have probabilities because we have a confirmed upwards climate. So maybe two forces, maybe not quite lining up there. And as we saw in terms of UFOs, nothing really close by at the moment that could push price up or down. Obviously, new orders can come into the market and change things. But for now, we can't see anything on the chart with our UFO app that would tell us that there's anything major there that could move price either up or down. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So in terms of price movement that we could expect in the S&P. So the word volatility just means how fast we expect these markets to move or how far we expect them to move within given periods of time. Now, we get the volatility figures from the options of these markets. So within options, there is a risk of assignment or exercise. For those that don't understand options, basically there is a risk involved, which depends very much on how quickly these markets move. So it's normally professional traders that are trading the options markets, especially of these big markets. So they're the ones that are sort of buying and selling and therefore setting the price of the option. So inherent in the price of the option is the risk they're willing to take, which is based on how far they think price will move. So in effect, these current implied volatility numbers reflect what professional traders think in terms of the volatility that we could expect in these markets. So we're looking at the current implied volatility, current IV there, column. Everything in this column is annualized and it's done as a percentage. So it tells us how fast we could expect price to move in terms of a percentage every year. So, or in 1 year, sorry, I should say. So for the S&P, we are using the VIX, VIX.X. That's where we get the implied volatility numbers from. So what this tells us is that based on the opinion of professional options traders, we could expect a movement up or down on the S&P in 1 year of 26.39%. Which means if we reverse engineer this, in 1 day, we could expect a movement up or down of 53.61 points. In 1 week, we could expect a movement up or down of 118.01 points. And in a month, we could expect a movement up or down of 245.66 points. Okay, so again, just gives us an idea of how fast we're likely to see the S&P move. Okay, moving on, we're going to look at oil now. We're looking at CL. That is the continuous futures contract for oil. So let's have a look at that, at CL. Okay. Okay, we're going to have to squish this down a little bit so we can see all of our UFOs that we need to. So sorry, it looks a bit weird and price is very sort of close together there, but it's just so we can see what we need to see. So on the bottom here, our Auto Climate app, once again showing us a thick blue dot, so a confirmed upwards climate. We have an upwards move and we have probabilities on our side that it's likely to work out, that climate. Now, in terms of buy UFOs or buy orders that are highlighted by our UFOs, we have two nestled on top of each other. You'll see you've got like a UFO flying saucer nestled on top of another one. The top numbers are 26.03 to 25.52. Closest stack of sell orders, as highlighted by our red UFO here, 53.55 to 55.43. As we can see, we're pretty much in the middle there. Nothing close by that could move us up or down again, but confirmed upwards climate. Now, how long could we expect that climate to keep going up? So this tells us here that oil would normally go up for 7 candles on a daily chart, so 7 days, and we're on candle number 4. So we still have room based on statistics for this climate to continue to the upside. So we have a confirmed upwards climate and we have statistical probability that it's likely to continue at least for another few days. Now, that's not to say that's exact. Of course, things go outside of probabilities. We saw that up here with the S&P. That's gone further than what is probable. Of course, we can fall short of what is probable. But it's all about putting probabilities on our side as much as we can. As we said, yes, we have a confirmed upwards climate. We have probabilities that it could continue, but we have no buy UFOs close or sell UFOs close that could potentially move price, although new orders can obviously come in and change things. So in terms of the movement on oil that we expect in a yearly, daily, weekly, monthly basis, we use OVX.X. That's the chart we use to get this information. So what this shows us is based on the professional opinion of option traders. We would expect a movement on oil up or down in 1 year of 40.22%, which means if we reverse engineer that, in 1 day, we would expect a movement up or down of 1.02 points. In 1 week, a movement up or down of 2.26 points. And in 1 month, a movement up or down of 4.70 points. Okay. So moving on to gold, that's the next market. So we're looking at GC, that's the continuous futures contract for gold. Let's have a look at that. So here we have at GC. I'm just going to move it a bit just in case my face has taken up the top room there. So once again, we have a thick blue dot, so a confirmed upwards climate, telling us that we're in an upwards move and we have probabilities that that climate is likely to work out for us. Again, not definitely, but more probabilities. We have our closest stack of buy orders as highlighted by the Auto UFOs at 1668.3 to 1647.0. And we've said this before, it's already done what we expect it to do. We expect buy UFOs to push price upwards because there are buy orders there that are likely to push price up. And that's exactly what happened here. Price came in, hit the UFO, and then went up since then, which is exactly what we expect. Now, closest sell UFOs, closest stack of sell orders as highlighted by our app here, 1863.6 to 1879.0. That's the closest stack of sell orders. Okay. So how long can we expect this climate to last? So we can see here that normally gold would go up for 7 candles. So obviously, again, I've rounded that up. 7 candles on a daily chart, and we're on candle number 1. So we have probabilities on our side that it's likely to continue for a few days, and we have a confirmed climate. Now, we're coming up to a sell UFO, so it'll be interesting to see if we hit that, which of those forces win, but we'll find out, I guess. So in terms of movement we expect, we're looking at GVZ.X, or GVZ.X. And we can see here that we would expect a movement up or down in gold in 1 year of 15.09%, which means in 1 day, a move up or down of 17.2 points. In 1 week, a move up or down of 38.0 points. And in 1 month, a movement up or down of 79.0 points. Okay. So last but not least, we're going to look at the euro. So as we said before, euro US dollar. That's the chart that we're using here, spot forex. Let's go back to this one, euro USD. So again, I'm just going to manipulate the chart a bit here so we can see what we need to see. There we are. So once again, thick blue dot, confirmed upwards climate. Closest buy UFO just below us here at 1.1342 to 1.1255. We can see multiple buy UFOs on top of each other, all done what we expect them to do. Price comes back, hits it, goes off. Price comes back, hits it, goes off to the upside. That's what we expect. Then we have our closest stack of sell orders as dictated there by our red UFO at 1.1740 to 1.1816. Just rounded that to the pips that they need to be rounded to. So how long can we expect this climate to keep going to the upside? Well, remember we said obviously things go out of probability sometimes. We can see here that usually the euro US dollar would go up for 4 candles on a daily chart. And we're on candle number 11 to the upside, meaning we are obviously quite overextended there as to what is normal in the euro US dollar. So bear in mind, like we said, the longer that you pull an elastic band, the less likely it is to keep being pulled, more likely it is to ping back. Although we do have multiple buy UFOs below us, and looks like we're pretty far away from a sell UFO. So it'll be interesting to see there how long we keep breaking that ceiling. So in terms of movement on the euro, we use EVZ.X or EVZ.X. And we can see that we would expect a movement up or down in 1 year of 6.75%. Which means movement up or down in 1 day of 49 pips, up or down in 1 week of 107 pips, or up or down in 1 month of 223 pips. So like we said, the volatility numbers give us an idea of how far price could move up or down based on what professional traders think. The climate and propagating gives us an idea of in which direction they're likely to move, and the nearest UFOs give us an idea of where price could be likely to turn. Okay, so just come down here and understand the news for today. So it looks like we're on a couple of pages. Yeah, okay, cool. So on this one here, so we normally filter by US markets and by high impact news. However, there is none. There is no high impact news this week for US markets. Now, we use the source of fxstreet.com/economic-calendar. And that's where we filter on that by US markets and high impact news. So of course, if you trade things outside of that, you can obviously filter, go to that link there and filter it as you choose. So because there was no high impact news this week, we've shown you here the sort of medium impact news. So you can see on the left-hand side, the time that these news or reports are likely to come out. So obviously the next one we have is 8:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, Tuesday, July 21st, but nothing today. And that's the Chicago Fed National Activity Index. But like we said, nothing high impact this week. Now, bear in mind that yes, there is a degree of impact that the news or reports have on the market, but they are an indirect force in the market, meaning the most direct force we have on whether or not price goes up or down are buy orders and sell orders. That's it. So of course, news can create buy or sell orders. That's why it's an indirect force. But there are loads of other things that could also create buy or sell orders. So just bear that in mind and use it in your trade plan as makes the most sense to you. So a couple of reminders before we round off. I don't think I actually need to get to that bottom bit. That's the copyright stuff. So if you're not already part of the fun where you can access our sessions twice a day during the weekdays and then once a day over the weekend where we cover futures, options, investing, stocks, the sharpening sessions, psychology, as well as support you have access to. You can join the fun at tradictive.com/youcantrade. We do have a free 14-day access to the channel. So if you want to try us out for a couple of weeks first, and just see if it works for you. Initially, you can do so for a couple of weeks and try us out. So the next upcoming class, as we said at the start, is the futures class. Now we call these sessions sort of survival to mastery because they are from the foundations up. So for those that maybe haven't traded futures before, or you really want to sharpen the skill you already have, this is perfect for you guys. If you want to learn more about how we do it and what we do and the instructor and what we cover, then you can go to www.tradictive.com/futures live. Now, another reminder, that any course you register for, you can get an additional class for free. It's like a buy one, get one free offer at the moment. Now, the second course you pick has to be of equal or lesser value to the first course you pick. So go to the website and sort of play about with the courses there so you can make sure you make the most of that deal. If you have questions on anything, whether it comes to the channel, whether it comes to the courses, anything I've covered today, the technology that we use, anything like that, just email us support@tradictive.com. So today being Monday, for those of you that are within the channel, we'll see you in the futures and option sessions we have today. And at 4:15 p.m. Eastern, my colleague Boyan will be looking at what did happen in the markets. Let's look what went as expected, what didn't go as expected. What can we learn? What can we take from what happened during the day? So he'll be doing that 4:15. So hopefully we'll see you in some of those sessions throughout the day. If not, I'll be back tomorrow morning. So I'll see you then. Like I said, as always, email us if you need. But otherwise, have a great trading day, guys.